Welcome back to Off Workouts. We're here with something of a Christmas cracker.
Dom, we are off.
Excellent. Here we go. Love that.
So, it's our standard mandatory compulsory. You will comply 0 to 6 minute.
Yes.
Level 4 warm up. So very important that you keep yourself nice and relaxed during those first few minutes. We have had a couple of minutes of yapping, as we always do, sitting on the bike. So we're slightly ahead of you guys. So we are going to also today focus on 2 things. Apart from having a good workout, that's 3 things. Is maintaining a decent leg speed. Now we talked about this in recent weeks, and there is a tendency as the workout goes on, and certainly as the load increases, that your leg speed reduces. Sometimes you've got no choice because of the effort involved, but sometimes it's just a case of almost like a combination of slight physical fatigue but mental fatigue, where you settle back into a lower cadence. And actually we believe, truly believe, that with a bit of conscious effort you can will yourself, tell yourself to get those legs turning over a little bit faster. Keep those hips nice and loose, knees nice and loose, ankles nice and loose. So generate a bit more speed with leg speed.
Yeah. Something that I always notice. I've done a couple of rides since we did our last recording with Andy, and as soon as he gets on, the legs turn so quickly, and I mean, you can't coast as such on a static bike, but you can definitely hold back. And your leg speed is almost whatever resistance you're at. Your leg speed is always very high, which is a good thing.
Yeah. But again, it's a conscious effort, Dom. I'm aware that if I don't think about pedaling faster, I won't.
Yeah.
It's not as if I've got a natural leg speed where I can get on and my legs turn over.
I think you probably have now after all the years.
Maybe so.
Certainly, I know what you mean. I definitely am slower without you telling me to speed up.
Okay. So we're into the warm-up, approaching 2 minutes 20 into the warm-up, and remember that we're going at about a level 3-4 at the end of the warm-up. So you can probably hear my voice. The body's starting to go through those physiological changes where you go from a relative resting state into an exercise state. The heart starts to pump, the body deserves more oxygen, lungs start to work more efficiently, muscles start calling for that oxygenated blood, and off we go. So now that whole process takes a certain amount of time, certainly north of a minute. So when we change the increment levels as we go along, and the next level we're going to go to will be a level 5 at the 6 minute mark, be conscious about not turning that up too much. In essence, you want to turn it, increase the resistance ever so slightly for the first minute, and then see how you feel at a minute plus. Now, if you're starting to settle down into a rhythm, you've got it right. If you're struggling, if the body's and you feel you're working at too high a mark, hold it or take it down slightly. But there will always be a lag, a delay in the load coming on and your body responding.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And I've noticed that many times that I jump the gun, go too much, and then I'm backing off again.
And you see it out on the road a lot, where you'll be with a group of other cyclists, and you'll come to the base of a climb, or you're approaching a climb, and some riders will go off the front and they're pushing quite a big gear, and instantly you're like, they're not going to be able to sustain that. And halfway up the hill, 2/3 up the hill, they're flicking down through the gears, body position's gone to pot, standing up on the pedals, breathing like a drowning horse, and they've blown it. So the idea is to ease yourself into it. Always give yourself some capacity. Don't start off each session in the red at the top of that zone. It's not sustainable. It's no fun either. And physiologically, your body has then got a lot of catching up to do. It's in deficit. You've got to pay that back while you're still trying to make forward progress. It's a world of pain out there in here.
I can tell you that. And it's interesting because, of course, you're right. If you're pushing it harder than your body can cope with, then you will have to back off. But I guess as we try to stay fit, there's also that fine line between, am I working hard enough? And it's sometimes hard to calibrate.
It is.
Could I be pushing slightly harder, you know, or am I pushing too hard? You know, that's the fine line, isn't it?
It is. And I think by doing these workouts and using that, you know, rating of perceived exertion, where you start to really understand how you feel through certain phases of the workout, and that's no overnight thing. That takes time. You'll start to be able to self-calibrate yourself, whether in here or whether you do manage to make it outside, as that how much effort you're putting in and whether it's sustainable. That's a great skill to have. Okay, then we're asked, that went quick,
Didn't it?
last 20 seconds of the warm-up.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I'm comfortably at level 4. Yeah, we can talk.
Yeah, no, this is fine. I'm just trying to keep my legs turning faster than normal,
Okay.
which is good.
And then we're going up 1 notch to an RPE level of 5 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So remember, turn it up. Your body won't react to this, for a demand point of view, to at least this kind of 40-second mark. Unless you've totally gone mad with your resistance, in which case the pedals aren't turning at all. So now, 20 seconds in, I'm starting to feel the demand for oxygen is coming on, or more oxygen.
And how close does what we're doing here come to mimicking what you do on the roads? I mean, of course, there are other things. There's wind. There's
Road
bumps in the road,
surface,
and all that sort of stuff. But you know, I know most kind of seasoned riders would say it's great to do an indoor, but you cannot beat, or you can't. They're not as close necessarily as they need to be, or something.
It's about as good as you can get, I think. Without about as close as you can get.
Yeah.
I mean, the benefit of being indoors is that it's accessible to most people.
Yeah.
You can control the environment, so temperature, wind.
Yeah.
You can control the length of the workout, so you can decide when you get off, and then you're always 30 seconds from your kitchen.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of convenience benefits, but you also miss out on the kind of the beauty of, I'm talking about the beauty of cycling, which is the adventure and the escape and the, you know, meeting other people on the road. Wonderful, you know, taking the route less travelled. You know, getting a good old-fashioned map out and thinking, that looks like a good route, you know, picking out a few hills that you've not been up before and having a wondrous few hours out. I mean, depending on where you live in the world, then that can be harder or more difficult depending on the circumstances, but it's always the lure for me for cycling was it was a means to escape.
Yeah, I've got it.
And of independence, massive independence.
Yeah, Andy likes to escape. In fact, he and I were talking the other day about these workouts because we record them and I tend to do them, and it's because I do them that I know how hard they are and how effective they are. And Andy was saying he does occasionally do them, but if he's got an hour or so free, his preference is to get outside.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I've definitely done lots of riding outside, but I think it's because of that window. I know, guaranteed that I'll do 40 minutes or whatever if I'm on the indoor.
Yeah.
If I go for a ride out, traffic might get in the way or something.
Yeah.
Which means I've got to commit at least double the amount of time.
Yeah, you always need to build in a contingency because there's no guarantee that your bike's going to make it back in one piece.
No.
So you have to think, well, you know, I might get a puncture or something. So typically, if you have got a tight window and you've got things to do before and things to do afterwards, then static cycling is fantastic. But there's also the nice side of cycling where you can say, well, yeah, I might get stuck out for a bit, it might take longer than I expected, but that's what it's about. You know, you can't have everything logged and categorised and clean cut-offs.
No.
If you do, I think you're missing out on a major part of the sheer beauty of self-propelled travel.
Yeah. But this is a great way of making sure that regardless of what you do for a living and your sort of timings over the course of a week, there's no excuse for not having at least two rides on one of these and nick out on the roads if you can. That's my ideal if I can do that. 2 half-hour, 40-minute indoors and a 2-hour, 3-hour bike ride outside.
Yeah, it's good.
Would
Good
be
balance.
the ideal.
Yeah, it's good balance. Okay, so we're 10 minutes in. That went quick.
Didn't it? I know. Nice.
We've got another 2 minutes at level 5, so we're halfway on the RPE scale. We're not stationary and we're not grinding up the biggest hill ever.
I really feel like my legs are flying around.
Yeah, I think your legs are. You've got good cadence today, John.
Obviously not turning up enough.
Not that you haven't on other occasions.
No, I think sometimes I really struggle with that. I feel like if they're going around too fast, I'm not working hard enough. But of course, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So this time of year, certainly for kind of quite keen cyclists, again, depending on where in the world you're living, is a time when people tend to maximise their time out on the road because they have time off work. Their colleagues, their friends who they ride with also have similar time off. So you'll certainly see typically a lot more cyclists out doing the classic winter rides together, which is a great scene. Do you think you might get out more this winter, Dom?
Well, I haven't ridden out. I think the last time I went out was around Richmond Park, which isn't far from where we're recording this. And I probably did an hour and a half around there, did 2 or 3 laps. That was 2 months ago, so I've done a bit of commuting, which I am a massive advocate of.
Yeah.
Getting in and out of town on a bike is. But no, I need to get with it. I have a feeling that I might wait till the new year and pull my finger out.
Yeah.
There's quite a few promotions around doing.
Yeah, the festive 500.
That's right, the festive 500.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, the Rafa thing. Yeah. That's right. That kind of builds on that kind of old, the club riders getting out over the winter break. Okay, we're about to go to level 6 in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Sorry for the late countdown.
Level 6.
There, guys.
Here we go.
Level 6. Don't forget, it's going to take 40 seconds to a minute before you understand exactly where you are on that level, what your body's nutrient, oxygen requirements are. If you've gone too hard too early, at the end of this minute, which I'll give you a shout out for, then it's okay to wind it back. Now, this is the penultimate level we're going to be at today. We're going to a 7 after this one. So, bearing in mind what I said earlier, you need some capacity. Yeah, you need to be able to know that you're going to go into a 7. So, if you're working too hard now, you've got no capacity to get to a 7. So, please feel free to wind that down so you feel more relaxed. The important thing about these workouts is that you get through them and you enjoy them. Yeah? They're not there for suffering. Okay, that's a minute into level 6. I'm feeling just about comfortable at that. I wouldn't want to go any harder at 6, knowing that I've got a 7 coming up. So if you can visualise that you're on the road, you're on a slight incline, but you can see there's another hill coming that you know is steeper. You know you can do it, but you've got to leave something in the tank for that hill. Yeah, that's what we're doing now. Yeah, building capacity.
So tell me about injury, Andy, because obviously we're not on these things. We're not likely to come into contact with any other vehicles. That's the one upside. One of the other upsides being on. But you can push too hard, legs, lower back, etc. And obviously, I mean, and there are times when my knee has been slightly sore, for example, or it's ached, let's say.
Yeah.
And I carry on riding and it goes away.
Yeah.
How does one sort of differentiate between a pain that is something you should stop for, and something you should push through?
Well, it's a good point, and it's difficult to understand which one is which.
Yeah, sometimes.
But certainly a lot of repetitive injuries on bikes are caused by an incorrect setup.
Yes, there we go.
Not being comfortable, the legs overreaching or underreaching, the arms reaching too far forward or being too upright. And also perhaps it's sometimes the setup on the bike can be okay, but you're doing too much riding. It's too much of the same position, especially if you're doing road riding and similar profiles. Your body will be in a similar position. And certainly in the summer months, or late spring, early summer, you know, I get out on the mountain bike and go off-road, and that is fantastic for changing your body position second to second. It really does open up those joints that are otherwise relatively static in a road cycle. So, you know, I'm a big fan of cycling, but I'm not a big fan of just cycling.
Yeah, that's a nice pithy phrase. And we have talked about flexibility and strength as well.
Yeah.
And both Andy and I, and maybe you guys too, if you're not doing a ride, you are thinking about pushing some, well, in my case, quite light weights. I don't do lots of that, but I'm very conscious of that.
Yeah.
And stretching, I think it's called your IT band down there, which is sort of the outside of your quadricep. And I didn't know how tight mine was until I started doing some stretches on a mat. And it's really lovely when you go, oh, that's opening it up. So a bit of the mixing it up is definitely the order of the day.
I mean, I can remember going to bike races years ago, and you'd see guys walking around in the kind of pre-race zone before you're going to race, and they look like the Tin Man off the Wizard of Oz. However, get them on a bike, and they were incredible.
Yeah.
But I was always very conscious of losing flexibility, losing muscle strength in certain areas, and being just bike focused. Which, if that's your thing, okay. But I think physiologically, moving forward, getting older, we need to have a balance of training. It goes back to the classic 80s, 90s buzzwords of cross training, which highlighted very early on the need to do a multitude of sports and activities. And that still stands true today, more so.
Well, also gives the bit of your body you're using too much a rest. If you do some like shoulder presses or whatever, you know, not doing much work on the shoulders as we sit here now, but it's important.
Yeah, psychologically gives you a rest. You're not just grinding out the miles on the road. It's like gives you a break.
Absolutely.
Okay, last 40 seconds out of 6.
This is good. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, and then we go up to a 7.
Yeah.
So 30 seconds. We're at our peak RPE, which is level 7, which means you can talk. You'd probably rather not. All right, Don?
I'll think of something to say.
Whether you can say it or not
I'll speak inside.
is a different. Okay, 10 seconds. Get ready for the increment change. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Right, here we
go. Don't forget, it's going to take a minute for this to kick in.
Yeah.
If you've gone too hard, then start to wind it back. That's fine. Your body will adjust, but don't give it too much to do too early.
We're staying in the saddle for this ride, are we, Andy?
Yeah, we are. I mean, you can freestyle it if you want. If you want to get out of the saddle for a bit.
It's not even fatigue. It's just that it's the same
change of scene.
Position, I think.
Yeah, change of scene. Yeah,
slightly mixes things up. I'm really conscious of my leg speed. I'm going fast, but
yeah, try and get that leg speed up. I've noticed mine's
sure
dropped
I've
off.
gone up an incline as fast as I was with my legs turning this fast for this period of time. But it's getting pretty warm in this room.
Yeah.
Yes, I do enjoy these rides, and they, you get on, you go 40 minutes, wow. But I mean, we're approaching the halfway mark already, and
okay, that's a minute in.
Such a big psychological moment for me when you get home when you're counting down.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is getting the blood flowing, no doubt. Ooh. And we've been getting good amounts of comments from you guys watching the films. Do keep them coming. Questions, suggestions, ideas, anything. It's really important to hear how much you're enjoying or using these workouts.
Yeah.
I've got a little bit of a burst.
They are great.
Nice.
Nice one, dog.
I'm trying to keep it fast, but
Yeah, no, you're doing well.
I don't keep my hips as steady as you. I noticed that.
Yeah, but you're keeping the leg speed going, which is good. Definitely improvement from previous sessions. Yeah, it's good.
Yes, I would say you've taught me a few things.
That's the halfway mark.
Okay, so good.
Over the halfway mark. So 3.5 more minutes at 7, and we start to descend.
Yes, that's something that's a remarkable thing to see, is experienced or even professional riders gunning it down the hill.
Yeah.
My God, they are
Terrifying,
fearless
right?
guys.
Terrifying. So the conversation has tailed off nicely. That's a good sign that we're working.
Hopefully you're working at home too, not just watching us sweat, but sweating a bit yourselves.
That's all right. Let's keep that leg speed up. That was telling myself as much as anyone else. Right. A bit over 2 minutes to go at the 7, so this is good. Come on. You can relax the upper body if you want. Stretch out on the bars.
It's another thing that Andy very clearly spelled out to me last time we were riding together. If you clench your hands, for example, on the bars, the clenching action requires blood,
Yeah.
which is a waste.
Yeah.
So just rest. And particularly we don't need to guide the headset in any particular direction.
No.
So you can just rest your hands. You don't have to clench your teeth or anything else.
I think there was an old road rider's tip once. He said that when your hands are on the bar, you imagine you've got an egg in each hand, and you're pressing the egg against the bars.
Right.
And of course you don't want the egg to break. So that's the amount of effort you should put in. So pretty minimal.
Oh, yeah.
And as Dom says, it's not as if you're yanking the steering left and right. Minute changes of direction are just caused by the unconscious effort of just leaning gently, of getting the bike to have purchase on more than one side. Right, let's go. Last minute,
We are
7.
We're both sweating here now.
Yeah, it's good.
This
This is good.
I don't know if there's any drips coming off the Christmas star behind us. I hope not.
There's no sweat like an indoor cycle. Yeah.
Oh. It's true. My brother, who's run all his life, he said, I've had a couple of goes spinning classes or whatever. And he couldn't believe it, how hard it was, but also how much he sweated.
Yeah, you've got no cooling action.
There's no moving.
You can set a fan up in the room.
I quite like the sweating. Makes me feel like I'm working hard.
Right, last 10 seconds at a 7. Then we go back down to a 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down to a 6, nice.
Should have opened that little window behind us, behind the camera.
Whoa. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Parts are breaking.
My legs are fizzing round, I have to say.
Yep. So we're now down to a 6. So imagine you crested that hill. You're on a kind of you're going downhill, still need to pedal, relatively slight gradient, but you're starting to feel good about, you've done the best part of the workout, you've done the peak. all downhill from here. So an RPE 6.
And there's nothing to do with age, is it, Andy?
No.
All downhill.
Yeah. So the conversation should start to flow a bit more. A bit more.
Yeah, sorry. I'll think of something to say. No, I was actually, one thing I was thinking about, or reading about actually, was recovery. Now, obviously you need to recover, but I read something that said recovery is where your fitness improves. So, and again, I'm not going to get into the science because I don't fully understand it.
Yeah.
But the point is, when you are allowing your body to replenish, that is when the body gets stronger.
Yeah.
And your fitness levels will dictate how quickly you get back on the bike.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. So
it's the old,
can you explain that a bit more?
Well, it's the old OAP, overload, adapt, progress. So you overload by doing a workout like this. You know, put yourself into some stages that are quite hard work.
Yeah.
You come away, and then your body runs through certain chemical changes. You know, muscle fibers, energy systems, cardiovascular system, lung capacity. So that the next time you revisit that session, you're better prepared. You progressed. So, it's in the
that's good. I like that.
It's in the downtime that the body makes its changes. Hence the need for structured rest, relaxation. I'm sure people have heard of the expression overtraining, where they're going out on multiple days, one after the other, and they're getting generally more fatigued as their body just hasn't got time to recover, hasn't got that time to adapt, and so you can't progress. So the body goes into kind of a shutdown mode where it says, I can't go through this again. I've got to conserve energy systems for the basic functions. I don't care about your 6-day trip to the Alps. Take a day off. Take a day off. Walk, have a swim, have a stretch out.
Can overtraining have long-term negative impact?
I believe so, yeah. I mean, I'm not totally up to speed with the science on overtraining, but I know there are detrimental effects to, to the body. But I'll have to pass on the exact.
Sure. Yeah.
On the exact. I mean, certainly one is, the compounding of injuries, the compounding of
that makes sense.
Of stresses and strains on the skeletal muscle structure through constant pounding.
So that rather neatly segues into something I wanted to mention, is that we will now be doing some interviews with people who are experts in the field of 40 plus fitness. As a guy who's written a book called The Midlife Cyclist, which, as the name suggests, is all about this. And I think he does have chapter and verse on things like overtraining. What he's really trying to do, and we'll get more information from him, is explode the myth, or the idea anyway, that you need to back off as you get older. It isn't a simple case of decline.
No.
You can work with it and challenge it, or push yourself.
Yeah.
There are some watch outs, obviously, but his view is that just because you get 40, 50 years old, you don't need to give up the ghost when it comes to staying competitive.
All right.
As Andy is a physical embodiment of.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see. It is all about how you feel, though, as we always say. Andy's 6 isn't my 6. I'm pretty sure of that, but it's nice to compete against yourself.
Yeah. Okay, we're into the last minute on a level 6, and then we're going back to a level 5 for another 6-minute block before finishing with a 4-minute warm down. So a little over 10 minutes to go. Well done, guys.
Yeah, amazing. Half an hour, well spent.
That's 3/4 of the way through the workout. Really well done. And you've got to give yourself a pat on the back after this, right? Be kind to yourself, yeah? Okay, 20 seconds, and you're down to a 5.
And another area keen to explore, and it's a really complicated area, I know that, is nutrition or food.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Great.
Sorry, I'm down to
no.
5.
So we'll get someone on to talk about food. I mean, it's a super complex issue, as we all know. But how you fuel yourself is really important, and it's really difficult these days. Ooh. The ultra-processed food debate and so on. Ooh. So stick with it, guys. Keep the legs turning. We might be at a lowish resistance, but I find anyway it still requires focus to keep the legs moving at a high cadence.
Yeah, it does.
I drift, and my legs slow down without even really noticing. So as Andy says, even though you're not working as hard as you might be, you have got to concentrate. Ooh.
So as we get towards the end of the workout, even though the load level has come off and our RPE is dropped, because of the effect of the fatigue, if you like, over the half an hour, it's still going to feel hard. Yeah? I mean, there's a good chance that level 5 on the way down, so it feels like 6 on the way up. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't.
See what you've done there, I find that very hard. Oh, there we go. Sort of keep it going. I feel like my legs are going to come off my body. Stand out of this. I don't want that happening.
Fly.
Yeah, good.
Right. 8 minutes to go.
Getting through this. Getting through this.
4 more minutes at level 5. So, if there is a workout you'd like to see, something that you think we've kind of neglected or not done too much of, that whether that could be something like picking a 1 RPE and holding it for half an hour, which you may say, well, it doesn't sound like much, but it is. Holding one level, keeping cadence going is hard, without any break of incline and so forth effort. That's quite difficult. Or the other end of the spectrum, where we do something that's multi-leveled but really quite hard. I'm aware that we've been to 8 a couple of times, but nothing to stop us doing a real hill session, which I'll tell you now, I don't look forward to because I know it's pretty uncomfortable. Obviously working at your own level, but even so, there's a lot of high RPEs in there where you really are kind of mentally and physically challenging yourself. I enjoy them post-workout, pre-workout, not so much.
I think the idea of holding it for a long period of time in a 6 or a 7 for half an hour, that would be
it's hard.
It's
a really hard thing to do, because mentally you're struggling to find things to look at in the room. You're trying to distract yourself any way you can, counting down, focusing on the leg speed. It's a real effort and concentration.
I mean, even this has been more or in a different way testing, because when we do the shorter bursts, I'm always waiting for something to finish or something to begin.
There's variety. There's variety. Whereas this, 6-minute block is a long interval. Yeah.
And I think maybe in the new year we need to try and do our maximum time, which I think we've discussed. An hour is the maximum amount we would do on a static bike. If you're going beyond that, you really need to get outside.
Seek help.
Yes, you need to get out more, I should say. But if we go up to an hour, I mean, we'd love your suggestions. I think it's safe to say that Andy's got plenty of ideas, but if ideas can come from you guys out there, so much the better.
Yeah.
Provided they're not going to kill us.
Yeah, so next session, let us know whether you want to do a long steady state, which is hard, or a hill climb special, which is also hard. Happy to do both. So yeah, we'll kind of leave that up to you viewers over the Christmas period. So let us know.
I might put a little questionnaire out. I mean, you guys have responded very generously to some other little polls we've done, and for those of you who didn't see the poll, we were asking how regularly you'd like to see content, and there was a split between weekly and bi-weekly, so fortnightly. So we're going to try and stick to doing rides twice a month, and we'll have other content around it twice a month as well. So 4 bits of fresh content a month is the plan.
Right, last 10 seconds. At level 5, we're going to the warm down phase in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Warm down phase, level 4.
What are we saying about speed here on the legs?
You want to keep the legs up certainly for the first minute, 2 minutes. After that, we can start to relax. Yeah.
Yeah.
The day's done, as it were.
Very, very fast. I mean,
your leg speed has definitely improved this session, Dom.
Yeah. Well, I think
Did you put some oil on that chain? Can I check it for a motor?
I think I have, quite honestly, and just not put as much resistance on the wheel, and probably means my power output, or whatever that means, is lower than it might normally be. But I've been able to keep my legs turning fast.
Be easy on yourself, Dom. You're working well there. Whoa.
Hot room now.
Yeah,
Wow.
It really is, man. Mid-December.
Yeah.
All right, 3 minutes. Okay, I'm going to start to ease my cadence back just a little bit. Try not to get off the bike feeling like Roadrunner.
Yeah, Max Wall.
Okay, relax your upper body. Give yourself a shake out if you need to. Start to relax the breathing. Maybe take slightly deeper breaths now. I am soaked.
Yes, you are.
Absolutely.
It's an unusually sweaty Andy Pollintine sitting next to me.
Absolutely soaked.
I am normally soaked, but yes, we're perspiring.
Yeah. Oh man.
Hope the camera's not fogging up. Could be.
In the clouds. The classic tour coverage where the helicopter's grounded and they have to rely on the motos.
Yeah.
And even they're wiping the screen every 10 seconds. Oh man, it was good.
It's been a good session.
Oh, I needed that. I really did need that. A lot of the time with these sessions, like any exercise session, it's kind of, getting started is half the job, right?
Yes, indeed.
And you can find reasons not to do it. Once you're there and the legs are turning and you get that, a friend of mine used to call the threshold of sweat. Once you start to sweat, suddenly you know that the body's starting to kick in and everything starts to change. The endorphins start to kick around. Give yourself a pat on the back for getting it done.
Well done, everybody.
Well done, well done.
It's set now.
That's in the bank, yeah? It's in the larder. Right, approaching the last minute. So, I'm going to start to wind the cadence right down now. Last 60 seconds.
Whoa.
Of course, I'm aware that there's a camera there, and a lot of the time I'm looking down at the bike. Apologies if you've just seen the my moonlight cranium facing. I should draw a face on the top of my head.
That's it.
Yeah.
We can do that in the edit, don't worry.
I'm sure you can. Give Ben a shout. Yeah, and shout out to Ben as well. Shout out to Ben, our
yes, we've been getting help,
producer, cameraman. Yeah,
from Ben.
Yeah,
and other entrepreneurial content creating man who likes a bike.
Yeah, good egg all round. Okay, last 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well done.
Wind it down.
Whoa. Well, that is another off workouts bike ride.
Yeah.
Curated by the wonderful Mr. Pollintine. Here's our star of the show. But look, I hope you've enjoyed it. As ever, like, subscribe, share, comment, and really need your comments. We'd love to hear more about how you're experiencing the rides and so on. Do keep moving over the Christmas period.
Yeah.
And we'll have more workouts for you very soon. Thanks for now.
Thanks, guys.